Hi, today we continue our discussion on gambling and we're going to talk about casino games. Casino games are a challenge because they are usually loads of fun, but as in most forms of gambling, there is a commission charge to play these games, which in the short run you might overcome, but in the long term is not an easy thing to do. Slot machines are the most random of casino games in that there is, for the most part, no skill at all to play them. You just play and hope for a favorable outcome. All outcomes have payoffs ranging from zero to thousands of dollars, and the payoffs are established so the house gets its average take per spin, the juice factor. It's all about lights and loud noises signaling wins and coins flooding out of the machines, even though that no longer happens, as coins have been replaced by coupons, or vouchers as they call them. The exception to the no skill rule in playing slot machines is video poker slots, which offers many kinds of poker games which you, the participant, actually play by throwing away cards and selecting new ones during the play of the hand. So unlike the random slot machine, there is an optimal strategy to playing video poker, and so the player can impact potential winnings by making the optimal draws. There are a few other slot machines made to replicate other casino games requiring strategy, but video poker is the one most people play when they really want to think at a slot machine, which isn't often. Moving on to table games, the most popular one is blackjack, and this, like video poker, requires some skill to give yourself the best chance of winning. The correct mathematical play of the hand is not entirely obvious, so I suggest that if you plan to be a regular player of blackjack, that you read a good book on the topic, which outlines various fundamental strategies of play. Depending upon card combinations in play, these strategies outline the correct decision when it comes to drawing more cards, in other words, when to draw cards and when to stay pat, splitting pairs, doubling down, and taking insurance. Many people think they are playing well, and in fact, they're playing terribly mathematically. One of the classic books is Beat the Dealer by Thorpe, but there are many books on this topic of playing blackjack favorably and other casino games. By playing the so-called fundamental strategy, the blackjack player can sharply minimize the house's edge, which makes blackjack one of the most favorable games for casino gamblers. There is also a study of a hot deck for blackjack, which occurs when the deck, after a few hands have already been dealt, is filled with more high cards than normal. The theory dictates betting more when the deck is hot and less when the deck is cold. Keeping track of the cards that have already been dealt is called card counting, and it's a practice that the house, the gambling management, frowns upon and can result in a card counter being asked to leave the casino. There are many other card table games, often paying higher odds than a game like blackjack, which pays off a maximum payout of 1.5 to 1 for blackjack, 21, when you're dealt 21. So in these other games, when the player gets certain favorable poker hands like flushes and full houses and four of a kind and straight flushes, big odds payouts happen. Some of the games like this are Let It Ride, Two Card Poker, Mississippi Stud, Caribbean Stud, and many others. Often these games are more favorable to the house than blackjack over the long haul, but the interest in the high payouts is what attracts the gamblers. Craps or dice is a game with two dice rolled by a shooter where the gambler bets on the various outcomes of the two dice from 2 through 12, as well as other special combinations of the dice. All the payoffs typically are slightly less than fair value, but there is one bet behind the pass line and also behind the don't pass line that is actually a fair value bet and thus very popular. Similarly, roulette offers an odds opportunity, except that the vehicle is a wheel that spins containing numbers 0 through 36 and sometimes double zero, where once again the bettor bets on outcomes of spins of the roulette wheel. Both craps and roulette offer payouts that are mathematically determined to reward the bettor accordingly, but with enough juice in the payouts to earn the house's profits. Craps is considered one of the more favorable casino games of chance for the bettor, and you can play the same hand, called the roll, where the shooter keeps rolling until they crap out, for a very long time. People have all sorts of betting systems for both games that either employ betting various combinations or are money management techniques of betting multiple outcomes on each roll of the dice or spin of the roulette wheel. There is a strong dynamic in both games for the crowd, especially dice, when the gambling mob can get very excited when the dice roller, called the shooter, rolls favorable dice outcomes roll after roll. There is much fun in gambling when you have a hot shooter and everyone's winning. There are many different table games designed to attract players. Many are card-based games where you are dealt a hand, and sometimes you are playing the dealer, and sometimes you are only concerned with getting the most odds against hands that have the largest payouts, like a royal flush. That's, in a sense, those table games are like video poker. Since generally you will lose at casino games, even though you might win occasionally, the idea is to provide you with lots of choices. Pick your poison, as they say. And they usually offer you free beverages, including alcohol, to help you enjoy yourself while you suffer the pain of losing money. The casino business wants happy losers, so remember that. Thank you very much.